I saw that. I was looking up that shit.
What does that do? What does that mean?
Like I can push the focus point, which is your face. So when you move, it follows your face.
Oh, okay.
Keeps it in focus. Yeah, that shit's dope. All right, sir. Live. All right. Well, first off, introduce yourself for us.
My name is BeHoward, man. Here from Nashville, Tennessee. Been rapping for a minute, man. Just dropped a couple of little projects. Been doing my thing for a little minute, but BeHoward, straight out of Nashville.
Okay, so how did you grow up, man?
I grew up, man, regular. Honestly, it wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was the mean streets of Nashville or nothing like that. It was just a single parent. My mama took care of us. I saw my daddy, on the weekends here and there. But just me and my sister, my sister and my mama grew up Cabot Drive, man, Riverwood Apartments. We stayed over there, then moved with my auntie, and then it was on the high school and college then.
So when did you decide you wanted to start getting involved in the music?
I always loved music, man. I always was into it. It was always around, in some form. My mama always, 80s baby. So my mama played, New Edition, Bobby Brown, Nita Baker, all these people all the time on our way to work, school, or whatever. And even, even when I went to on my with my daddy on weekends or whatever, that's when you get the Ghetto Boys and the 8 Ball and them JGs and all that stuff. So I always loved music, man. It was always in me.
So what would you say, like, when you got to the point where you were being influenced by a particular artist, who stands out to you?
I would say like an influence was probably 8 Ball and them JG. Just listening to them on the bus stop, I just remember the stories that they would tell, and you could just see how vivid it was. Even though they was in Memphis and I wasn't even living that type of life or whatever, you could actually see the music, and so it just got me inspired just to always want to see, what other artists are out there and what other music was out there.
All right, so when did you actually start recording? Like, what was that process like?
I recorded my very first song with shout out to the City Paper, man. Shout out Paper and Big Bush on 2nd Avenue. Paper was putting out Pay-Per-View Volume 1 on 2nd Avenue. He took me down there, and I recorded my very first verse. It was a feature right there. It was a while ago. I don't even remember the year.
So, Paper's an artist from Nashville, right?
Yeah.
As in reference to Nashville as a whole, who are some of the artists that you grew up, listening to from here?
Honestly, I didn't. I didn't really listen to a lot of Nashville rap. I mean, growing up, we had Pistol, Cool Daddy Fresh, those cats, but that really wasn't my life. Even though I was listening to other music, I didn't really get on to them until later on in life. And realize how impactful they were to even, Nashville culture. But I really didn't, it was my peers until like All Star started rapping. We around the same age till he started rapping and getting notoriety and that type of thing is when it was like, oh, okay, well, some of my peers are doing this. So.
Okay, so you just recently put out, Plan B.
Mm-hmm.
Basically break down the concept of that
album. Plan B, I think it was more so the situation that I was in, when you actually try something that not necessarily that you want to do, but other people around you think that may actually work, and it doesn't work, and then so you go to Plan B, which is really what you want to do. And I think that's what the whole concept of the album was you really got more confidence in Plan B than you do in Plan A, because, and I said it in the beginning, because there wouldn't be a Plan B if you had more confidence in Plan A. So it was just basically telling people, hey, if you have a Plan A and B, try B first, because that's really what you're passionate about. That's really what you could see yourself doing and comfortable with for the rest of your life. So that's what, and it was just a play on words on my name too.
Right.
Yeah.
So is that say your parents tell you to have a Plan B? And
yeah.
They say, well, you may want to go to school, instead of worrying about the music. How does that work?
Well, in that sense, it's that's their Plan A and Plan B for you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? not necessarily that's not necessarily your vision. So I would just say whatever that you are passionate about in the way that you want to do it and that you could see yourself doing for the rest of your life, try that first. You know what I mean? Plan A, like I said, plan A is what we want to do. Plan B is what we destined to do for the most part.
Okay. So with that being said, like, how did you approach putting the album together?
Shout out to my producer, Nice, man. For the most part, we call it homework. He send me some tracks, and it's usually I never turn them down. You know, whatever it is, because it always speaks to me within the first few seconds of the track. And what we wanted to do was just a range of honest music. Music that actually spoke to me and other people like me. I mean, like I said, my name is BeHoward for a reason. It's actually an adjective, B Howard. So I'm gonna always be me. The music that you get from me is always gonna be honest and something that's dear to my heart. So every track that we did was something that was completely honest with how I was feeling at the time.
And it's very rare that artists are actually working with one producer. I know you had a few others.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he produced majority of the project.
He did. He's actually produced the majority of my career, period. I mean, and then it's not that I don't like other producers or not working with other producers, but this is where I look at it. If I can play you 10 songs and on every song you ask me, well, who did that beat? Who did that beat? Who did that beat? And it's nice the entire time. That means I really got like 10 producers or 5 producers in one. If everything sounds different, there's really no, something that's repetitive or really no style. I mean, I just believe the dude can do all type of styles. And we just been rocking for so long. It's just that chemistry that we have. It's just easy, and it comes out great each time.
So is that something that was developed, or did you have it from jump?
Nah, it was. I would say it was developed, but then it was like instant when we actually got it, and most of it honestly happened right in this studio, which was important for me to do it in the studio. Shout out to Chance, man, Transformer. Man, we recorded, I would say 85% of me on a microphone was in that booth right there. And so I got to give it up to Chance, man. So it was just days that we would just be in here. And anytime you do something long enough, you're going to become good at it. And we just gelled, and everything as far as ideas he had musically came with what I wanted to write. And so.
Okay. So as an artist, one thing that caught my attention about you was you're somebody who, you and I are closer in age as well. So I think at this point, for people who are doing anything, once we get into the age group that we're in, we start to really hone in on our craft and get great at what we're doing. So I didn't hear about you from, it's been a few years, but
right.
At that point, I felt like you already had it. Like, what is, I guess, your creative process and actually mastering your delivery and your wordplay and things of that nature?
The creative process is just basically just taking pride in writing something every bar. What some people believe in set up, punchline, or set up, metaphor. I believe that you can actually write something meaningful or crafty or something real cool in each line and just play off that. I think the actually just becoming good at it is just basically doing it over and over and over. As long as you continue to stay at it, you're gonna continue to get better and better at it. Your delivery, your flow, your wordplay, all of that is gonna come the more that you actually sit down and write and hear music. So it's just a matter of being consistent and staying at it.
All right, now the music business itself has changed a whole lot.
Yeah.
And piggybacking off the last question, things have changed quite a bit in regards to the style of music that's out there, the type of artists that are popular.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, earlier that, Lifeline may be, getting to the end.
Yeah, the window closing. Yeah.
So you think the window's closing?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
I think I would just be consistent, man, with the love and the passion of doing something, man. I mean, I think you can like, there's a metaphor. You can hug a puppy and love something so much until you break its neck. You know what I'm saying? I think that I'm going to just continue to love what I do, continue to put out good music. And if it happens, it happens, honestly. I mean, yes, you can go out there and hustle and grind. You can do that. And I intend to do that, but with a family, job, this, that, and that, everything around what that's going on in the world personally, just don't really have it to put it all out there, especially at the age that I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? There are more important things to me personally than music, although I am damn good at it. It's just that, I can't sacrifice what I have now as I could when I was 20 years old. And so that's why I salute all the youngsters now, because you don't want to relive with regrets as, saying that, man, if I would have went harder at it, which I should have. You know what I'm saying? I should have went harder at it when I was younger, and I probably would have been better younger as opposed to being better now, you know what I'm saying, and got all of the other responsibilities.
So do you think the people themselves are changing? Because you mentioned a lot of the records that are coming out now are more club based versus back in when we were growing up. You could put out club hit, serious song for the ladies. That was pretty much the formula. They would come out. The third song would a lot of times be the more serious song. You don't really hear none of that too much anymore. What do you think has happened to the audience themselves? Because it seems like people of all ages kind of like some of that young music.
Atlanta happened to the game. When Atlanta came out, when Atlanta is still dominant, it was the culture was strip club or nightclub based. Okay, and we had all of these artists that were just breaking off with records, and then what happens is now you see New York is doing the exact same thing that they doing, and then if everybody's breaking out of the club, then it's the DJ's job to make the you know club record go. I can't mix in a serious record with this dope boy trap music record. I can't do it. So in order for me to be heard, okay, I have to do this with this particular tempo, with this particular cadence, so it actually blends in and goes with the party. If you go to the club right now, it's really one long ass song. The entire thing, the whole beats per minute, everything is just one long ass song. And so I salute it definitely. And there's a time and place for it. It's just I don't think that there's it's gonna be harder for those artists that don't make that type of music to get that type of break, because the majority of music lovers and hip hop lovers right now want to know you from what hit record you have, not the body of work that you put out or something like that. So
Okay, so you said Atlanta happened. Would you say maybe the second wave of Atlanta happened? Because originally, like I did an interview with Backbone from the Dungeon Family.
okay,
One thing that we talked about was the fact that Outkast and the Dungeon Family as a whole, and a lot of that earlier Southern rap that was coming out had more of a substance. But then, like around early 2000s,
yeah,
that's when things started to shift, and then you had the D4Ls and groups of that nature come out that
yeah.
kind of shifted the whole.
That's one. I clarify that. Atlanta strip club culture happened. The club culture, the nightlife, the glitz, the glamour of Black Hollywood, that happened. And in the midst of that, we got so many dope artists that came out. And now that is the status quo. That is what you have to make. That is what we're going to measure you against. Can I play this record in a strip club? Well, no, you can't, but it's dope. It's really, really, really good, but you can't play it right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what happened. That whole culture happened and transformed the entire world of hip hop. It did, because when you got New York, who was the most stubborn, market. Period. They die hard New York, and they doing what Atlanta do, or it's sounding like that. Not saying they doing what, I mean, Cardi B sounds. She has a New York accent, but her records sound like a Southern based, artist.
Okay, so the album that you have now, you mentioned that it's an album that you wanted to make in particular, but then you have, based on that from your last project, I guess you were making music that you didn't really want to make. What kind of transition from that last album to now?
It was just the situation that I was in. I was with Originality Entertainment, which was the group that the label that I was actually signed to, and these guys absolutely Bricks 5'3", Slim Chance. They absolutely believed in me wholeheartedly. Um, I would say the records that actually worked and that that they actually wanted to invest in were more so records that I personally did not like at the time. I did like all the attention. Like when we made Buckets and that song went crazy. Well, not crazy, but I got a buzz that I have never gotten before because they put so much light on it. And I have to give them the utmost credit and respect for that. But I'm not a I'm not that artist all the time. You know what I'm saying? So when Buckets was popping and I'm getting booked to do all of these shows and they want to hear Buckets all the time, it's like a costume that I gotta put on every morning and go out there and put that on. That's not necessarily the music that I personally wanted to make. It was jamming, super jamming, but as far as that being what I was wanted to be known for, not necessarily, not so much. That's why I think it had nothing to do as far as personally or creatively. It was like we're I was feeding steak to people that only like pizza, and I just wanted to be with the steak lovers, And then the pizza people would be like, "Hey, what does steak taste like?" And then they'll go over and gravitate to that. That's how I wanted to do it, as opposed to the opposite way. And I just didn't think we came to an agreement to that. But as far as the light and the buzz that they put on me, I couldn't have gotten that anywhere else, and I appreciate that.
So you said the with creating this new album, you got a record on there called "I Ain't Gotta Know It,"
Mm-hmm.
and you said, was that the last record or the record before you transitioned over into the position you're in now versus before, or how did that work?
Well, I ain't gotta know it. Honestly, is something that I would have done. I'm gonna do. That's me. Period. Shout out to Chino. Chino produced that record. Shout out to Chino, man. Appreciate that. No, that's me. It's soulful. It's still clever. And it still can work. I'm not saying that Buckets was bad. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as far as that what I'm being known for, I didn't want that. I didn't want that, and I don't think that would be known for a record like that.
Okay. So you said one thing about the music business and your career and things of that nature is now you have a family, you have work and things of that nature.
Yep.
You got some big dates coming up pretty soon.
Big date, big date.
How does that feel?
Feels great, man. I wish it was already over, but no, man. It's March 31st, man. I'm getting married, and it's a big deal. Shout out to my fiance, future wife. Big deal, man. It's just a matter. It's just like I look at it as either you gonna have a job all your life or you gonna have a career. What are you gonna be known for when you leave here? What type of what are you gonna build with somebody else when you gonna be when you leave from here? So it was just time, man, to be serious about something, and I thank God for it.
And as an artist and somebody who's getting married, one thing that I did notice about the music business is it's becoming cooler to be married as an artist, especially an older artist.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you balance the family? And I know you mentioned earlier that it's starting to clash a little bit in certain ways, but how is the support system coming from her?
She's been 100% supportive. With that. That's one argument that we haven't ever had. I mean, as far as the balance, you can tell when you're needing to be home more. You can tell that like there's a switch that goes off. Like, dang, I've been gone every day this week doing something with. All right, we got to do this. This is a priority. You know what I'm saying? But when somebody supports you in doing something that you absolutely love to do, you can't buy that nowhere else, man. Like, you can't get that nowhere else. That somebody actually you see something they see something that you're absolutely passionate about, and not that they would stand in that they would never stand in the way of that, but also know that in return you have to provide them with that time when it's their time. And she's been nothing but supportive for me, man. I couldn't ask for nothing more.
Okay, so moving forward, with projects, you're working on some new music now.
Yeah.
That's supposed to reflect your current state of life and living, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going with this next project?
This is gonna be more personal, man. Like I said, I only can write it like I only can write about what I'm going through or what's happening. Like the easiest records to write are simply the truth their rhymes. You know, I can see that record on Plan B took maybe 10 minutes for me to write. You know, because all you're doing is just finding something to rhyme with whatever you're going through. And so I think this I mean it'll be the next project will be maybe a 5 or 6 song EP. Me and Nice is still working on it. Um, but it'll just be each song will be something like a phase that I went through or that I'm currently going through. Um, and we just gonna call it Journey to BeHoward. Yeah.
Okay, so in closing, what would you like to say, to kind of cap this thing off and wrap things up?
I would like to say that I love the direction that Nashville Hip Hop Scene is going in. We got so many different artists that are doing their thing, and I really think that it's putting a huge light on our city. I'll continue to you know, be consistent and make good music and put it out there. I just want to I want everybody to know that being honest and being yourself, there's only one you out there. If you do that, there's no way that you could that you can't stick out. I think that we're starting to get that now as far as like not following trends, and there's so many people that sound like, themselves, that's where we want to be. I like you for you, and I like him for him, pause. But I like these artists for certain reasons. So don't mix that. Let me have your individuality so the fans and the people that love music can enjoy you individually.
All right. So if people want to get in contact with you, social media, things of that nature.
Everything is at BeHoward615. Instagram is BeHoward615. Twitter, Snapchat, BeHoward615. Facebook is at BeHoward615 or Brandon Howard. I can't accept no more friends, but you follow.